My life at Williams is dope.
Why?
Because it's dope. I don't know. I like everything about it. There are obviously like times when I don't feel like happy because like everybody has those times. But like overall, I feel like Williams is like the place where I've been the happiest in all my life.
College taught me to be independent, strong, and know my self-worth more than anything else.
Every day I'm grateful to be here because I know it's not a thing many people do or can do.
My mini dream is that I get the most out of Williams.
So the biggest challenge that I've had is really trying to figure out what am I doing with my life.
Sometimes you feel like you turned one way and you're like, this was supposed to happen, and it wasn't really supposed to happen any other way than this. And I think that in like just 6-7 months at Williams, I've felt that way.
When I was coming to college, I wasn't really sure what to expect. I knew that, I would learn, I would hopefully make really good friends.
I had no hesitations. I just moved into my room, went to lunch, hung out with my entry, and then that was that.
As soon as I found, not as soon as, like, I'm not like, alright, Facebook, let's go. But, I did stalk most of my entry mates before I came here. That sounds so creepy.
My roommate and I actually, Williams is a tiny school, so my roommate and I were actually friends at previews.
Initially, I thought I was having very much of a neutral experience.
It was definitely a hard transition for me from high school to college.
And all the fluffiness about, oh, you're gonna love college and it's gonna be great, you're gonna have so much fun. Like, people forget about the struggles that come with the first few months of being away from home and being in this new place and not knowing most of the people here.
The first time I said goodbye to my parents, we were in my room, we're all crying, and we go downstairs, and like, okay, I would go outside with them, like, bye, and then I come back in, my like crying a little bit, and then Matt and Steven were on the first floor, like, in the hallway, and I walk in, and I was like, hi, I'm Sierra, and like, the entry system gave me no time to cry, basically.
All of first semester is everyone being obsessed with their entry.
We did everything as an entry during first days. Like, every single meal, it would be like, there's Sage F, like walking to dinner.
I remember just going to 62 Center all the time, and I feel like I'll never go to 62 Center as much as I did during first days.
Oh, and Wolf was like an amazing experience. Wolf was the best.
I remember a lot about my adventure. Where am I? Super fun. Eating a whole tub of ice cream. I forgot what it's called. Vermonster.
We never, our group still hasn't had our Vermonster
either. We earned it. We ate every single tiny piece.
So did we, and we were beginners, so we didn't even hike.
My entry is a dysfunctional family that goes to bed at the end of the day loving each other.
We just have like a really, really exceptional entry, and people get along really well.
Every so often, like, I'll look around the room and I'll be like, man, I love these people.
Next year, I'm going to be living with some of my entry mates, so I'm really excited to have that entry life continued after freshman year. My entry is eclectic.
Majority of the time, people who share interests with one another or share like some sort of commonalities tend to stick with one another. So, like for example, like I think in my entry, the guys who do sports.
Because I felt like I didn't associate with my entry very well, because I didn't feel like they understood me and I didn't understand them. I felt like in the context of the world I wasn't understood and I wouldn't understand anyone else, and that got me very depressed, and I had to get out of there. I had to just not go back to my entry.
You don't have to be super close with your entry. People find their group of friends somewhere else, but I feel like the entry is really important because it's that first exposure to like people at Williams.
You're gonna be surrounded by people from very, very different walks of life, and you're gonna have to understand that not everyone thinks like you. So you're gonna have to step outside the box, be able to stand up for your opinions, and also be able to expose who you are as a person.
I think it's very peculiar that
There's
in my
certain
entry,
individuals
the ones who don't necessarily happily partake in the entry happen to be, you know, students of color or low-income students. And I feel like I've seen that trend in numerous entries, and it's been brought up to like attention in like the JAs as well. They're like 99% white and rich.
And if you go online right now, you'll find a video of the entry system, and you'll only find interviews with people who really enjoyed it, and you'll find pictures of snacks and they all look like they're having fun. It's because they're trying to create an atmosphere and an environment at least virtually, where people could see themselves having the best 4 years of their lives, like they've been always told. But fundamentally, that's not true.
One of the things I have noticed is that when people are in groups, it's not the same thing as people individually. I always heard about that, like group theory and such, but I really saw it come to life in entry.
I thought that there was going to be a lot more of a serious side to my entry, I guess. And not serious in the sense like they don't, party or anything like that, but serious in that I wanted them to be more driven, I guess.
One of the first negative memories I also have is with the diversity video. I remember I was like happy we were gonna discuss this, and like put genuine thought and like feeling into it, but people wouldn't take it seriously.
I feel like my J's, I guess, tried, but I just felt like the way the conversation carried out throughout my entry was very superficial, very mechanical, and I thought that kind of disillusioned me to what the entry was.
An accurate representation includes both. They include both the idyllic, yeah, like this is a great experience, you're gonna have a lot of fun, you're gonna meet a lot of great people, but also perhaps the more realistic one, where it's not always gonna be that way. You're not always gonna have that, and you don't have to. It doesn't have to be perfect.
My life at Williams is a fun, life-changing experience.
I guess like overall my favorite thing is like my roommate.
I think a lot of people don't think about this, is that you learn so much from the people, your fellow students, as you learn from your professors.
I'm still learning here at Williams that people just like speak their minds. Like they don't care like who's gonna say what. Like what you think strongly about is what you say.
There's always things going on, always things that I'm doing, always things that I'm planning.
First semester kind of just like went by kind of slowly, not in a bad way, but it did go by pretty slowly. And then winter break came, and I feel like winter break was the time for me to get over that, because I had 3 weeks at home, and I feel like when I came back, I didn't feel as homesick as I did first semester.
If you have a walk membership, which you need to pay $10 a year, you have access to renting any materials, but also you have access to renting the walk cabin in Hopkins Forest. And one day we just went to the walk office in Presky. We rented sleeping bags if we didn't have them, and one of us just like rented the walk cabin for a certain day in winter study.
I think a lot of people come into college either going out a lot or never going out. And there are people who never went out because they weren't friends, people who went out a lot, or they just didn't want to do that. For those who had friends who didn't want to go out, and it wasn't their personal choice, but they came to college and went insane the first semester and did the most, even though those parties always like were sucky, you know what I mean? And it's like really unfortunate, and I feel like the second semester everything just slowed down because people realized that there's no reason to be going out every single moment that there's alcohol around, you know what I mean? Something that I feel like was very key for our entry to learn.
I think I've gone to maybe 2 parties. The first one, it was both during winter study. I was trying to step out of my comfort zone. I went to the silent disco.
Oh, how was that?
It was actually a lot of fun. You see?
Awesome.
And then I was like, oh, then maybe this isn't that bad, because it's like I was able to experience a party where I was just dancing with friends.
We're so restricted to how people like judge us because the school is tiny and everyone knows everyone's business, and I feel like that's a big part of it. So at least for me, partying has been finding what I want to do and actually doing it and having fun with that, as opposed to doing what everyone else wants to do.
I think my favorite part of fall semester was intramurals, because one kid in our entry got really into it and signed us up for every single one, and we dominated.
Broom ball was actually really awesome because I felt like it was an opportunity for me to invest in entry life without having to do the things that I don't want to do. I nearly got a concussion during broom ball. Like I reverse face planted.
Now, a smaller part of my entry, we will eat meals together, we'll hang out. It's more like, people you live with, so checking in, maybe studying together, doing random like exercise ventures together.
My entry does not have any activities together. We never have any meals together. I can't remember the last time we had like a dinner together, like an official like entry dinner. And it really like shocks me to like know that there's entries who still do that.
We all like party together on the weekends. You always have people to go out with. I always have someone to eat lunch with.
The only drawback I would say would be like that people can get too close and neglect all the other so many different cool people on campus that, you know, you might form a great friendship with, but if you don't branch out enough, you will never know.
I sort of was starting to realize my friends both within and outside of the entry, and I felt like because there do become core groups in the entries, if people are part of that and then sort of decide to leave, there is a little bit of the rest of the people kind of feeling abandoned.
I love snacks. Not for the snacks, sometimes for the snacks, but just, I know last semester, every time we had snacks, we had people like, those who made the snacks would share something. And I don't know why we stopped doing that. But last semester, a lot of people in our entry really opened up to each other.
My male JA, Dylan, he like sometimes gathers the boys and like we go to the Purple Pub, like a boys' night out type of thing, where we talk about like really manly things, like feelings.
In our group meet, we have animal names and we have animal pictures, and so it's just based on our characteristics. And some of them are really funny and some of them are really strange. I'm the loving mother panda bear because I'm Asian, and also because they think I'm a really loving motherly figure.
We have our sweatshirts. Actually, we're the first entries to have our sweatshirts. It's just a nice black zip up. It's really exciting to, oh, there's our bird with arms.
Comparing high school me to me now there's like enormous differences.
In high school, I had the same group of friends throughout the same 4 years. So I wasn't very outgoing that much, and I didn't meet everyone in my high school. But here, I find that it's just so much more fun and interesting to see and meet new people.
I redefined what a grade means at college, because there's like no academic competition among peers in Williams like every day. So like people don't really care what you got as a grade, so it doesn't like define you anymore as a person.
My small sense of the different possibilities of lifestyles has immensely expanded, and I've had to try and cope with that. I mean, we're all really successful people here, and a lot of the class of 2017 will be much more successful than I will in the future, but my way of life, I still have to wrestle with thinking is much better than, someone else's.
I'm in Psych 101 and I'm studying for a quiz currently, and I've spent all day reading, and we're doing like the developmental section right now, and it talks about how like adolescence is about like finding your true identity, and that really rung true with me, and it was kind of terrifying because it was like adolescence ends when you're 19. I was like, I don't know if I'll be able to know my true identity when I'm 19.
I guess my biggest fear is ending up in a place where I'm not satisfied with my life.
I think my biggest fear now is a fear of failing, and a fear of not being successful, and a fear of letting everybody who's supported me along the way down.
My biggest fear would be not being able to find connection with the people that I'm surrounded by.
My biggest concern is getting enough sleep and managing my time just in a more efficient way, I guess. But I'm getting lots of help from other students, especially older students who really care about like reaching out to the Williams community.
I just want to learn as much as I can about anything, about everything, whether it's in the classroom, outside, whether it's about myself, other people.
I want to take random classes, and I want to go to all the random speakers and go to all the random stuff. And it's like after you leave Williams, it's this little bubble of like so much going on, yeah. And so I'm not going to be able to do that again. So I want to really find out what I love so that I can continue doing it after.
My biggest dream is to find what happiness means for me and actually fulfill it.
To make a significant impact on the world.
I hope in the next 3 years that I'll be like genuinely a better person.
Coming here, I feel like I've in a way strengthened my voice, strengthened my ideals, my beliefs.
Going home for spring break, I realized being home, I was like, I'm kind of a different person. I'm becoming a different person. My parents noticed it. And it's good. It's cool to feel like I'm the same me, but like a progressing version.